From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
Good evening from my home. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lena Lai. A hot and steamy Sunday in Northeast Ohio while another hurricane is taking aim at another part of the U.S. Meteorologist Carrie Coleman is here now with a first look at Hurricane Douglas plus our weather here at home. Hi, Carrie.
Hello. Yes, we'll talk about the heat and the hurricane. First of all, let's do the heat. It was a hot day here, but not as hot as it's going to be tomorrow. When you add that humidity really going up over the next 24 hours, we will see the 90s tomorrow. We saw a lot of 90s around here today, but we're going to really boost that humidity for a heat index right around 100 degrees at the peak of it tomorrow, and some strong afternoon and evening thunderstorms for your Monday. Right now, those temperatures, they're hot. They're pretty steamy out there. 90 at the Akron-Canton Airport, 88 out at Hopkins International. Tomorrow on the hour, we start off very warm. We're going to be in the 70s, and then we bump up into the low 90s. Depending on when that rain starts, will really factor in as to just how hot we get tomorrow. The tale of two air masses. All right, 91 tomorrow for a high temperature, but Tuesday, 82 or so, right around there. We will be talking, though, about a 20-degree difference in the heat index. All right, Hurricane Douglas. Here we are well out into the Pacific Ocean over the Hawaiian Islands. Hurricane Douglas is losing a little bit of strength. Last advisory 90 miles an hour, now at 85, moving to the west-northwest at 16. It is going to be a rough night for the Honolulu area over toward Maui as this system continues to steam to the west-northwest. It is going to be kind of a rough night there for Paradise. You don't see a lot of hurricanes, but it will slowly lose strength as it moves into that cooler water. I'll be along with the complete forecast here in a few minutes, and we'll talk about a very nice week ahead, Lena.
All right, thanks so much, Carrie. See you again in a bit. Now, leading off the latest coronavirus headlines, a dramatic drop in new infections today in Ohio. The state's health department reporting just 889 new cases of the virus today. That is down significantly from yesterday when we had more than 1,400 new cases. Unfortunately, there are 10 new deaths from COVID-19, and the number of hospitalizations is going up. Europe's travel industry continues its struggles. Great Britain is now advising people not to travel to Spain and has removed the country from the list of safe spaces to travel following a surge of COVID-19 cases. France is also considering the same type of ban as its own cases of COVID increase. And North Korea is reporting its first case of coronavirus. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has placed one North Korean town near the border with South Korea under total lockdown after a person was found with suspected COVID-19 symptoms. Kim has called coronavirus the, quote, vicious virus. And a new school is right around the corner, and some local school districts are not just thinking about classes, but also sports. My colleague Andrew Huransky live now to explain how fall sports are starting to look like. Hi, Drew.
Hi, Lena. Well, certainly for many of us parents, this is top of the mind because we've been hearing a lot about, of course, delayed starts to the school year, remote learning. But what about sports, such as football and soccer? A short time ago, we did speak to the Summit County Health Commissioner, who believes that sports should be pushed back until October 1st at the very least. Her department sent a letter out to administrators on Friday, and they made other recommendations as well, such as limiting spectators to 2 per athlete or eliminating them altogether, and maybe even shortening the season. Obviously, it's difficult to distance in sports, and because of that, they are not ready to jump in just yet.
Really felt strongly that if you could delay contact sports at least until October 1, I mean, obviously, all of the students can still practice and get ready and maybe have scrimmages with themselves, but really to avoid competitive sports just so we can sort of just like open slowly and make sure that we're able then to have a safe reopening for children.
Well, back here in Cleveland, there is, of course, work to do. The White House has called on Cleveland and Columbus, among 11 cities across the country, that could become possible coronavirus hotspots. Dr. Deborah Birx, the White House Coronavirus Task Force coordinator, is on the road this weekend, yesterday in Columbus, tomorrow in Pittsburgh, talking about masks to get this thing under control.
The president said when we did Opening Up America Again guidelines that he would step in when he saw things that had to be corrected. And I think you see this week him really talking to the American people about how important masks are and how important not being in mass gatherings are, particularly if people are not wearing masks. This is a signal to the American people. We have to change our behavior now before this virus completely moves back up through the north. We can do that, and we can do that as an American people.
And she has praised Ohio's statewide mask mandate, Lena, but believes there is more work to be done, particularly when it comes to bars and nightclubs, suggesting maybe we should be putting a closer eye on those as well.
All right, Drew, thanks so much. We know you'll have more coming up at 11. See you then. Tonight, the late Congressman John Lewis has crossed Selma's Edmund Pettus Bridge for the final time as remembrances continue for the civil rights icon. A processional with Lewis's casket was carried across the bridge today, where he and other civil rights marchers were beaten by Alabama state troopers 55 years ago on Bloody Sunday. It was a key event in the fight for voting rights for African Americans. Today, a line of state troopers again waited on the opposite side of the bridge, but this time they saluted Lewis's casket. The son of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. remembered Lewis tonight.
John Lewis, while he represented the nation and the world, but he was my congressman. And so I derive phenomenal inspiration from his example over and over again.
The late congressman will lie in state through today at the Alabama Capitol and again on Monday at the U.S. Capitol. His funeral will be in his Atlanta Congressional District Thursday. Oscar winner Olivia de Havilland, best known as the kindly Melanie in Gone with the Wind, has died. She was 104. Her family says the actress died peacefully of natural causes on Sunday at her home in Paris. De Havilland was among the last of the great stars from the golden studio age and was the last surviving major performer from Gone with the Wind. A local church had a pretty unique way of ending its services today. After Mass, St. Casimir Church of Cleveland held the Blessing of Your Chariot event. Worshipers had their cars or other modes of transportation blessed by the priest. It was held in part as a celebration of St. Elijah. And Reagan Park in Medina was a scene today of a special car rally for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Some 50 exotic cars like Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and Mercedes and their owners came together to ride around to support the cause. The money raised helps those battling cancer. Coming up, a new stimulus plan set to be released tomorrow. How much money could you be getting from the government? And a new milestone today in the race for the White House. We'll explain next.
What Matters Most is sponsored by the Calvetta Brothers Floor Show. It's time to fall in love again with your home.
The November general election is now 100 days away, and a new poll finds some troubling signs for President Trump. In the survey by the Associated Press NORC Center for Public Affairs Research, more Americans say the country is heading in the wrong direction than at any previous point in his presidency. The poll also finds that altogether, 8 in 10 Americans say the country is going in the wrong direction. And we already know there is a shortage of poll workers for the upcoming election across the country, but how dire is the situation in Ohio? Well, we're learning the Ohio Supreme Court is calling on attorneys statewide to volunteer as poll workers, and if they do, lawyers will receive credit hours toward maintaining their active law license. Tomorrow, top Republicans will release their plan for another stimulus package. The main sticking point is reportedly how much extra pay there will be for laid off workers on unemployment. The $600 added benefit that has been in place since April expires this week. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says their new plan will help all workers get back on track quickly.
In my view, it ought to be very much front-loaded toward immediate help. If you're looking for a theme, saying kids in schools, jobs, health care, and liability protection. No one, no hospital, no doctor, no nurse, no business, no college, no university, nobody running a local school system ought to be subjected to an epidemic of lawsuits on the heels of the pandemic that we're still dealing with.
The Republican plan is also expected to include another batch of payments starting at $1,200 for singles and $2,400 for married couples, although we won't know the final numbers in the plan until tomorrow. Up next, another day, another hurricane threatening the U.S. But first, a live look outside on this Sunday evening. Was it hot and steamy enough for you? Meteorologist Carrie Coleman will have the full forecast, including some relief ahead. Stay with us. Leaders in Maui plan to sound hurricane sirens tomorrow morning to warn residents it's time to take shelter from Hurricane Douglas. The Category 1 hurricane was nearing Hawaii with the first impacts expected on parts of Maui. The storm was expected to move to the state's most populous island, Oahu, by midday tomorrow. The storm's packing maximum sustained winds of 90 miles per hour. A day after roaring ashore, Hurricane Hanna is lashing the Texas Gulf Coast with high winds and drenching rains that destroyed boats, flooded streets, and knocked out power across the area. Now downgraded to a tropical storm, Hanna is hovering over the U.S.-Mexico border. The storm could dump up to 18 inches of rain. All right, how about here at home? Hot and muggy today, but if we just wait, we could get a prize if we just are patient enough. Meteorologist Carrie Coleman back here with the full forecast. What's up, Carrie?
So that's what you call less humid and more comfortable. It's a prize. It's a present. Well, I like that. It's certainly going to be welcome relief, to say the least, after tomorrow with heat indices right around 100 degrees. Right now, those temperatures, they're certainly warm around the area. We do see some 90s yet, but a lot of 80s as well. The heat index for the Akron-Canton Airport is about 91 degrees, so it's just a little bit more humid than is comfortable there, to say the least. You saw the dew points there in the 60s, and the heat indices right now, there's the Akron-Canton Airport at 91. You see a little bit steamier weather there, 93 for Sandusky, and on this southwest wind, all of that heat and humidity is coming on up from the tropics, and that's why our dew points are going up. That's why the heat index is going to be up tomorrow for sure on your Monday, and we will see some thunderstorms with that line there off to the west of us associated with the cold front. That's going to be moving on through sometime tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. Could be some fairly strong thunderstorms, and again, a lot of fuel, a lot of heat and humidity associated with that. Here is what is left of Hanna. It is now a tropical depression, 35-mile-an-hour sustained winds, and still the possibility of tornadoes. The southern Rio Grande Valley under a tornado watch until 10 o'clock Central Time, so they could still see some really rough weather there and a lot of rain as well. Hour by National Design Mart, we're going to only drop into the 70s overnight tonight. Tomorrow, it is going to be a steamer into the low 90s, depending on when those thunderstorms hit. If they hit a little earlier, maybe we won't get quite as hot. Then we clear out, could see a shower early Tuesday morning. We'll see partly cloudy skies Tuesday afternoon. The dew points on Monday in the 70s, and then they come on down to the comfortable level, upper 50s there by late on Tuesday. Off to the leg, 2-footers out there, could be kind of choppy, especially around those thunderstorms on your Monday. Overnight tonight, warm and muggy, 72, winds out out of the southwest at 5 miles an hour. 91 for your Monday. We are talking about some afternoon and evening thunderstorms, and some of those could be on the strong side. And again, the heat index right around 100 degrees when you combine 91 with about 72 in terms of dew point. Wow, it's going to be powerfully hot to say the least. Winds out of the southwest at 14 miles an hour, feeling very hot with that wind. All right, Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast. So the tale of two air masses, 91 with a 100-degree heat index on Monday. Then we drop that down to about 80, 82 on Tuesday. So that is a really nice change. Yes, that is a present. 85 on Wednesday, mostly sunny, partly cloudy on Thursday, 84. And then we'll still continue in the low to mid 80s all the way through the week. And it looks like we've got at least a chance of a thunderstorm then on Sunday, a week from today. But yeah, that's really a nice change in that air mass because, you know, yeah, that's too hot. 100-degree in heat index. I don't think anybody likes that.
It's all about the humidity, right, Carrie? Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Stick around. Nick is up next with sports. We'll be right back.
This sports report is sponsored by the people-pleasing people at Serra Auto Park in Akron.
Happy Sunday to you here from the Camino Cave here at WKYC Studios. Always great to be with you and always great to talk some baseball. Terry Francona and the Indians hoping to shake off a tough loss yesterday at Progressive Field, and the series was at stake. I mean, this was the rubber match today. No fans at Progressive Field, but they had to love this, the ones that were watching at home. Franmil Reyes putting the Tribe on the board early with a 2-out base knock. We go to the third inning, Indians up 3-0, and they add on Frankie Lindor with the opposite field RBI double. He needed that. Then in the fourth inning, Jose Ramirez steps to the dish and he says, "Good night, Kansas City." A 3-run blast, that made it 7-1 Indians. Ramirez homered twice today from both sides of the plate. Nice to see that offense come alive in a 9-2 Tribe victory. Made Tito happy.
After a tough day yesterday, a tough loss, you know, today's going to be a hot one. I thought our guys really had good energy and good intent and kind of kept after them.
Well, what an outing from Carlos Carrasco, and what a story this has been. This was Carrasco's first start today since his leukemia diagnosis last May. The right-hander was locked in. He went 6 strong innings, only allowed 5 hits and 2 runs. He struck out 10. He was poised, he was efficient, and his manager was impressed.
Thought he established his fastball early, and then when he does that, off of that comes the off speed, and it really gave him a hard time. And that was really good to see. I think he looked to me like he was just taking the ball to go win. And I mean as a compliment, though. I don't mean ho-hum. I just mean I think he was very professional about it.
Hey, don't forget the Indians back at it tomorrow when they open up a 3-game series against the Chicago White Sox. It'll be here in Cleveland. That's a 7:10 first pitch. We'll get our first look at Aaron Savale, and we'll get our first look at the White Sox. They're an interesting club. I got to see how good this team is. A lot of people feel like it could be a 3-team race. We'll see how good the Sox are. Speaking of the White Sox, Rocco Baldelli and the Twins wrapping up their opening series on the south side of Chicago, and I'll tell you what, the Twins can swing the bat. Jake Cave with a first-inning grand salami. That put Minnesota up 4-0, and they never look back. The Twins score 2 touchdowns. They win 14-2 in Chi-Town. Hey, don't forget tonight, after What's Next, it'll be Indians tonight. Plenty on the Tribe. Jim Donovan goes one-on-one with former Tribe right-hander Jensen Lewis. We're a year away from the Olympics. Remember the 2021 games now in Japan. And we'll talk some Browns, too. Can't wait for Indians tonight. Lena?
Does that include a tour of the Camino Cave?
You know what? You're always up to some tricks at your house. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to dodge whatever you get at me here.
We don't have the fancy wood paneling like you do. Thanks, Nick.
It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different here, but it's great to be back here at the studio.
But you got a cave. Thanks so much for joining us. NBC Nightly News is next. Hope to see you back here at 11. Have a great evening.